I want to talk a little bit about stropping knives with hanging strops. First, I'm just going to show you a few different ones. And after that, I want to talk a little bit about why I generally don't recommend it for knife sharpeners. But to start, this is a fire hose strop. It is old 1960s and earlier. I believe this is 1964 or something like that. There was a date on it somewhere. It's fire hose. It's linen. The newer stuff has after like the mid 60s, has a rubber hose inside of it, and it's not suitable. But I have a hook right here, and basically all I do, now I put the handles and stuff on it myself. You don't have to. You can basically just hold it. But you would just take the knife. Notice I'm not yanking this livid snot. The strop is going to give a bit. It affects the apex of the edge in a bit different way because of that. But it's a lovely, and you're using the same edge trailing method. This is a fantastic strap with straight razors. Now you can do this plain linen or poly seatbelt material, all kinds of things. That's one way to do it. And then if you wanted to, you can also use a hanging strap. Now this is a straight razor strap, but it has a cloth component and a leather component. And what I usually do is take my hand and move it very fast with a lot of pressure onto the leather until the leather warms up. And then I generally do a couple of these because sometimes a leather strap will cup, and this right here will put a temporary crown in it. When you lay the blade onto the stropping surface, it'll flatten back down, and I do that warm up because the leather feels different after that, and also if there's any dust or anything on it, that helps to clean it. And you can strap on plain leather. That gives a lovely edge. Once again, you see that strap is flexing. So one of the main ways that I use cloth, this is one of the old cotton, or I guess you'd call them Boy Scout belt style belts. It's just a cotton weave belt, and I left the buckle on so I could use it to hang the strap. And I have chromium oxide paste on the back of it. Now this is straight razor grade paste because I use this with straight razors very occasionally to refresh them. Very occasionally. I prefer to go to a stone. Then you could grab it like this so that the cloth doesn't cup. And you notice this is a narrow strap. The blade doesn't matter. Use a kind of a windshield wiper technique. And you'll find, and a lot of times what I'll do is flip it over And just clean the blade off, the apex of the blade, the bevel of the blade. Because I'm not using this for anything but stropping, chromium oxide stropping. And that's pretty much kind of the how-to. I don't know if I can. And it gives a very nice edge. But you can strop on a block. One of the reasons that I don't recommend hanging strops very often for knife makers is because, or for knife sharpeners, is a lot of it depends on the knife that you're sharpening. If you notice, that's a lock blade. If it's any kind of lock blade or fixed blade, then you're fine. But now, if you sharpen some of the old time slip joints, like what I like, and you put any kind of pressure or the tip of that blade catches the cloth, it can close on you. And it won't have any mercy on you when it does. It will cut you open. So if I strap those knives on cloth, I understand the risk I'm taking and I'm willing to take it. But I'm also going to be really careful on how I do it. And I have the experience to do it fairly safely. So I don't recommend it, but I know that people are wondering about it. And so I wanted to kind of demonstrate kind of what it is and why I don't recommend it to people. The last thing I want is anyone cutting themselves open learning to sharpen a knife. You're familiar with this guy, right? Okay, that's something like that I recommend. Or what this is actually, and yeah, it's got nicks and stuff on it. No, they don't hurt a knife edge hardly any at all, despite what people will tell you. This used to be, I started trying to use this as like an example fretboard on a guitar, a mock-up fretboard, and I abandoned the idea. But I just took this blocky, that's why it's kind of tapered, you can see the long sleeve, and glued that on there and put some stropping compound on it, and now you can lay that like that. Once again, it's narrow. People that don't understand think, well, I want like a big 3-inch wide or 4-inch wide strop. Well, they're cool. That's 3.5 inches or something like that. I like that, but you don't have to have it. It'll work just fine like that. And that is another idea for a strop that you can do. As a matter of fact, I really need to clean this compound off of here and redo it. And I'm going to do that. I'll try to demonstrate. I'm just going to clean all of this off of with a square, sharp edge of the back of that knife. California says this stuff is a hazard, but they think bacon grease is a hazard. So, you know. But this is the same thing that you'll find in a lot of oil-based paints with that, I can't remember, it's a specific kind of green. Chromium green, maybe? Can't remember. But Stand by. I'll clean that completely here in a bit. But, I mean, okay, if I really want to replace that, it's not an issue. Chromium paste. Or, I'm sorry, a piece of a chromium oxide crayon, not paste. But I still call it a pasted strop. Now, if you do this, when you begin to rub it like this, what will happen is that, all right, what will happen is that crayon will start to heat up. And it'll begin to spread evenly. You don't really need that much paste on one, but I kind of did it just to show you. And then over time, now if I wanted to, see, I can avoid that, but if you see there's like a really bad gouge right there. If I wanted to, I could take a sanding block, because I got a few little ones along this. I could take a sanding block and sand that off of there, because all you got is like the nap of the leather, which helps to hold the stropping compound. And so, I mean, that's simple and easy. I could put a little handle, and I might do like a handle shape at some point, but I don't think so. Maybe just round these corners so they don't dig into the palm of my hand here. That's perfectly fine, because I generally hold it like that anyway. And this is a better type of paddle, type of strop, in my opinion, for knives. So, alright. Hope you got something out of that. I'll talk to you later.